All right. Good morning. Well, yeah, still good morning, everyone. It's the morning Muse for Tuesday, September 12. Sorry for no morning Muse yesterday. I didn't end up going into uni, and if you can hear a few bottles of wine rolling around in the background, it's where I'm not an alcoholic, and that's actually a topic I'll get to maybe on another day. But yeah, it's for a friend, just dropping them off after uni. So just heading in. I'm kind of running late, but see, the thing is, for me, much like my dad, that running late, so to speak, for us is, I'm just going to adjust this real quick so I don't look so square. Yeah, running late for us is also arriving still 15 minutes early, whereas being on time is arriving half an hour early. So I should still make it. With this kind of traffic, it'll probably only take me like half an hour to get into uni, if that. So fingers crossed it's okay. As always, you can follow me on Twitter at @Seb_Quinn. If you want, hit me up on Facebook, it's @SebastianQuinn Sports News. So you can follow me on there, doing a lot of live tweets and also updates on Facebook. And also, I can finally announce, if you were watching the Morning Muses last week, that I can finally announce the job that I picked up. So I signed the contract for Perform as a senior video reporter. So I'll be covering the Premier League, NBA, hopefully anyway. NBA, Rugby League, maybe not the finals so much, but definitely the A-League and more of the Premier League as well. So fingers crossed that does well. It's only a casual position for now, but Perform fortunately has a lot of overseas offices, so I can also, if need be, or if this is all touch wood and if everything goes to plan, I can move overseas to one of their overseas offices. So fingers crossed it works out, but I haven't even had my first shift yet, so I don't want to look too far ahead. Just got the sunnies on, just while it's still a little bit. It's overcast today. It was meant to be hot, but yeah, it's kind of overcast. Can't really tell, just obviously now with sunglasses on, but yeah, still got the sun coming through. Hopefully it's not too bad. And yeah, I've got my uncle's birthday tonight, so heading to some nice Lebanese for dinner. But anyway, not to get too off track, I wanted to touch on last week. Actually, went on Friday. My mum got home from overseas. She was in London and Dubai just for work, and we ended up going into a few phone network stores. I'm not in the business of throwing people under the bus, or I'm not about to try and get someone to lose their job. I'm not doing this for that sake, doing it for the sake of telling a story. So we were in Roselands, went into our first shop to do a change of ownership for my phone. Walked in, the guy didn't even look at us. He's still sitting down on his phone, doing nothing, and we're just waiting and waiting. I was like, is he going to acknowledge us? And still nothing. So my mum ended up walking over to him and saying, "Oh, hi, can we get some, do you mind helping us?" She didn't say, "Can we get some service?" But, just to that effect, saying, "Can we get a hand here?" So he helped us out anyway. After that, he ended up being really nice. I suppose maybe he didn't hear us walk in, but as most of you probably know by now, I have a very loud voice. So to not hear me when I'm talking is, I think you should probably get your ears checked. So there's that. And then we went to one of the other the phone retailers, I guess that's what I should call them, in Roselands, and walked in, and 3 girls sitting there. I think 2 of them worked for the store, but you couldn't tell. So the way they had the shop set up was, normal retail store, and then 2 islands in the middle with phones and tablets around the side of them. So they were sitting on the chairs there that customers would normally sit on to go through and all that sort of thing. So I walked in, they're lounging around like arms back on their phones, doing nothing. And the thing was, I think they were in uniform, but the girl that I looked at immediately didn't look like it, because she had a shirt on underneath, and then her uniform, which was a button-up, actually was actually kind of like pushed back. So it was like around her shoulders here. So I couldn't even see a logo. To me, it just looked like a black shirt. So we walked in, and I was like, "Oh, hey, do you guys work here? Like, what's going on?" So yeah, and then so they were like, "Oh yeah," and then one of the girls who I don't think worked there, which is the part that kind of pissed my family off, she was like, "What does it look like?" And I was like, "Oh, I personally didn't hear it." I looked at her, she looked like a smart ass. I was like, "Sorry." And then my mum kind of snapped at her. She was like, "Sorry, did you try to say something?" And then she was like, "Oh no," of course, being the coward that she is, went back into her corner. Yeah, and then my brother, speaking to him afterwards about it, he was not happy. So that's the last time we go to that store, you can say that for sure. And the weird thing is, well, I mean, not the weird thing, but the interesting thing is, you know, I work at the Roselands store downstairs, and you know, part of me, because like I used to be assistant manager for the liquor store, so I kind of have that, I mean, not about the same managerial background, because, you know, I was an assistant manager for like, I don't know, 8 months or so. But, you know, you kind of, you know what to expect when it comes to casuals, and, you know, I mean, customer service in general, especially for my mum and for myself, you know, her being a CSM with, you know, an airline, and, you know, and then my dad being in retail as well, then myself, you know, we all have a very strong customer service background. So to get that sort of crap from someone, you know, this young girl who's probably the same age as me, to be honest, like, you know, if you're going to clap back against someone like that, like, you know, we were looking at pre-ordering the Galaxy Note 8 as well for my brother, and that's, you know, you're looking at $90 a month, and I know they probably don't get commission or anything like that, but still, you know, you're bringing in a lot of revenue for the store, and you would think that someone who's, you know, working there, and I mean, maybe she probably hates her job or something like that, but man, you know, if someone was coming in with that kind of money to, you know, commit to a 24-month contract or anything in those kind of terms, I'd be, you know, bending over backwards to try and make sure that they're satisfied. So a little bit disheartening with that. So I got a guy trying to do a U-turn while someone else is doing a reverse park. So after you, geez, this is the last time I drive through Banks, through Arncliffe. This is, I mean, yeah, very, very interesting drivers. I thought Hurstable was bad. Anyway, so yeah, really just poor customer service from both those stores. I mean, the first shop that we went to, definitely, I mean, it got a lot better. He helped us out. I was originally going to change to another plan, and he said, no, wait, because on Monday, the Monday just gone, they bump up that plan for the same price, but you get an extra gigabyte of data. So, I'll definitely, I mean, that sort of, he certainly redeemed himself, but the other store, really, you know, we won't be going back there. And I mean, you know, it's the whole cliche thing. It's like, oh, I'll take my business elsewhere and all that sort of thing. But I mean, in the end, it's just about, you know, you go into these sort of stores, you know, not to have some, you know, young girl to tell you, you know, be as smart as to you when we're about to drop all sorts of money on it. So really disappointing. And, you know, as I was saying before, part of me kind of wanted to go up and talk to the manager, say, listen, you know, there's, you know, your casuals or whoever these guys are on the Sunday, kind of on the Friday, excuse me, weren't exactly that polite, and I'm not doing this for them to lose their jobs, but I'm doing this to help you, you know, tell them to get their crap together. So, I mean, because I know if that was me, if I was a manager, you know, having, you know, my casuals talk that way to someone like that, especially you know, a family, like, you know, my brother, myself, and my mum, you know, if it was like some young guys coming in, you know, mucking around and whatever, then fine. But, you know, me coming in, I was like, oh, hi guys, you know, I wasn't trying to be a smartass or anything. It was a genuine question, because they were lounging around. It looked like they were customers because they were chilling. They were sitting back doing nothing. I was like, oh, you know, surely on a Friday afternoon, I know everyone wants to get out of there and stuff, but like, there's got to be stuff to do in terms of cleaning or whatever. Like, I know always, I mean, in my store, there's always something to do in the end. And I mean, maybe that just reflects their work ethic more than anything. So anyway, I won't go too much of a tangent on that one. But yeah, the phone hunt, just to wrap up, because this is getting awfully close to 10 minutes. So I finally secured my mobile phone. I've given up on the iPhone 6, finally. So ended up going with the OnePlus 5, which graphically is incredibly superior to, I mean, it runs right next to the iPhone 7 in terms of capability. So looking forward to getting that. Runs Snapdragon 835, I want to say, and then also 60 gigabytes of RAM, you know, in fantastic camera and all these sorts of things. I mean, exactly what I need for about, you know, half the price of an iPhone. So getting that delivered, I want to say it's coming in tomorrow, which is Wednesday. Is today Tuesday? Yeah, today's Tuesday. So yeah, that'll be coming in tomorrow, hopefully. I've ordered a few cases for it. Well, one case for me, one case for my brother, one case for my dad. My dad just got a new Samsung A5. I think he was on a $39 a month plan, but then turns out if he just paid $1 more, he could get a brand new phone. So, I mean, why not? And then my brother got the, he ended up getting the Galaxy S8 Plus. So, I mean, my mum even mentioned that, you know, probably should have just waited for the Note, and then at least then, you know, maybe the Galaxy comes down in price. But at the same time, it's like, well, you know, they're both fairly expensive phones. He's getting like 16 gigabytes of data. It's a fairly good deal. with them. But of course, I mean, they went to Vodafone Hurstville, and I mean, they don't get bonuses, but I'm sure the amount of phones that they sell, it looks good on their records, and there's a lot of things that go on in the background that a lot of people who aren't in retail don't realize. But those who are there certainly know that this little things like that, like with us Liquorland, our spend get. So basically the premise is you spend $30, you can get another product for 10 out of a select range. And that reflects well on the store, because if we do well in that, there's certain competitions, but there's also certain benchmarks we need to meet and all sorts of things like that. So a pretty interesting weekend in the end. I worked Saturday, Sunday, so hopefully some of that money will help pay off the phone. This paycheck, I might, depending on where my bank account sits, I'm looking at buying a wireless lavalier system for my DSLR, so I can finally, I could have done it before, but it was a little bit more tedious. It could have finally, started to do more news broadcasts sort of thing. So I can get that wireless system in, because before, basically what I would do is have the shotgun mic on my DSLR filming, and then hook up the wireless mic to my mobile phone and then sync it together. I think I talked about this earlier, but anyway, when I am filming at a professional level, you kind of want to have that, you just want it to be autonomous. You want it to be straight away, no bugs or anything like that. And hopefully, sorry, there's a fire truck. And just get straight into it. So, excuse me. Anyway, it was nice to kind of do this all in one take. It was only 11 minutes now, but I'll leave it there. Hopefully get this up as soon as possible. I know my first class on Tuesday is at midday, so this will be more of an afternoon muse, I suppose. But I'll be recording the Corner Post podcast tomorrow, so make sure you follow me on Twitter at Seb_Quinn, and on Facebook at Sebastian Quinn Sports News, so you can get the latest update on that. Thank you everyone for listening, and I'll see you all tomorrow for my morning news.